All right. So I wanted to give you guys access to a lesson. I'm going to kind of walk you through this. You can pause this video as you need to. So your warm up, I only ever need to read a text one time, agree or disagree, and say why. Make sure you're dating your notebook. You could respond to that. Should be 2 or 3 sentences, one claim that answers the your opinion on that statement, and then 1 to 2 sentences saying why you agree or disagree. Objective, make sure you guys are copying this down. Remember, we underline our verbs, circle our nouns. Students will be able to analyze a text for elements of structure, pacing, and suspense. So you guys looked at the sniper already. Yesterday we went back and kind of talked about this a little bit. And now you're going to really dig in to start making your case for an analysis. Real quickly, some glows and grows on your annotations. People have been underlining relevant text evidence, meaning that it's not just blanket, just underlining for no reason. It looks like it has a purpose. Everyone had something underlined or highlighted, and most people had notes. Those are glows. The grow. My expectation with annotations is always the same. If you underline or highlight something, you need to make a note or marking. Could be a symbol. Maybe you want to put a question mark for something you don't understand. Maybe you want to put an exclamation point for something you agree with. Annotations ultimately have to be personal, but I need to understand that you are being metacognitive or thinking about the thinking around what you are reading. Okay? So in order to get full credit when I grade annotations, I'm looking for a note or a symbol or marking that makes sense with what you are underlining. All right, close reading. So you are going to go through and have this form. Everyone has a copy of this form. And basically, it's a graphic organizer that helps you analyze and organize your text evidence. So it asks you to consider how the author structures the text, manipulates pacing, or builds suspense. Read closely in each section to complete the chart below. So I outlined which paragraphs you should kind of look at. So you're chunking the text. And so let me just kind of walk you through what this looks like in the beginning here. So in paragraphs 1 to 4, I focused a lot on the imagery. Okay, so twilight faded into night, enveloped in darkness, but for the dim light of the moon. A pale light as of approaching dawn over the streets and the dark waters of the Liffey. Heavy guns roared, machine guns and rifles broke the silence of the night. Republicans and Free Staters were waging civil war. This is all imagery about what's happening in the setting. And what I do here is analyze it. Well, how does this text evidence create the effect of surprise? So this is what I wrote, and this is the type of analysis paragraph I'm looking at. The story opens with repeated imagery of the darkness that surrounds the town. So this is structure, and I'm talking about how the story opened and what was in the opening. Right away, this creates an ominous mood, which is broken by the sound of gunfire. So if you picture, this is a serene, dimly lit, it's quiet, it's dark, but then all of a sudden, gunfire. O'Flaherty, the author, places his reader in the middle of the scene, ending the opening by revealing there's a civil war going on. Okay, so it builds up from this setting imagery to this final line of there's a civil war happening. This creates an element of suspense, leaving the reader wondering why the two sides are at war and what is going to happen next. And so you see I put a little bit about structure. Okay, this is just one example. I don't want you guys only to get caught on the mood and the imagery. Pacing, is it going fast or slow? Structure also in how the story is being revealed. Here I talked about how the opening, it starts with a laying of sort of a dark scene, but then it's cut with gunfire, right? And so how does the author reveal information? Think about that when you're thinking about structure. And then think about some of those ideas around suspense that we talked about for movies, but translating them to books. This is a very descriptive scene that you could almost imagine in your head, so visualization will help you with this. All right? So I want you guys to take the time to work through both sides, the rest of the story. I'm fine if you work in partners, okay? And I expect you guys to have something on both sides of the text for each chunk. And again, label it, whether you think it's structure, pacing, or suspense in terms of element of surprise. And when you're looking at your evidence, see if you could find sort of common ideas within the context of the paragraph. So in this first one, I kind of focused on the description and the mood that's created, right? But in another, you might focus on the way the author reveals the narrator's thoughts or something like that. So just work through it, and we will touch base again on Friday.